Thank you so much for stopping by Sandra P's Gen Extra. I just wanted to give a few of my thoughts on what's happening with Jess Hilarious and what went on at the Breakfast Club over the past couple of days. Just looking at a lot of the takes on it. And I have to admit, I'm a little surprised at some of the lack of support Jess is getting. I do remember the interview process, and they went a few months, a pretty long time after Angela Yee left, having guest hosts on, trying to see who was going to be a fit. And then we came to the conclusion, just looking at who they interviewed and who they actually selected, that they ended up choosing someone that they wanted for her, in my opinion, social media audience. They wanted her wild and out reputation. They wanted Jess with the mess. Because some of the names I've heard, and I do remember them guesting on the Breakfast Club during that time, Claudia Jordan, Lauren, who actually it looks like she's going to get the job now. She's one of the people that they didn't choose at the time. And I keep hearing a lot of criticisms of Jess as far as her not being professional. I have to agree with that. But they didn't hire her to be professional. They hired Jess with the mess. So I think that Charlemagne, Emmy, even Lauren, some of the other people in charge kind of orchestrated this to go off exactly as it did. I think Jess gave them what they wanted. I wouldn't be surprised if she bows out or she's asked not to return, or hopefully they pay out her contract. I would be contacting an attorney, talking about postpartum, something along those lines, because something about it didn't fit right with me. And sometimes when I hear people talking about her professionalism, I hear an undertone of respectability politics. The way that Jess was speaking, how hurt she was, came across as angry to some people, but I could hear the hurt that she brought Lauren in, and that this is the reward she got. This is how they repaid her. She said nobody asked about her baby, but envy. The whole thing is just a bunch of shenanigans. And I think sitting in the wings laughing at it, Charlemagne was actually making jokes and laughing. Why don't you wear your do-rag? Why would she have a do-rag on? When she was giving her opinions that night from her home, she said it's a silk scarf. Okay, that's fine. Why would she show up at work with a do-rag on? And the two people that I feel like helped orchestrate this, Envy had a whole fraud scenario. And everything is allegedly, in my own personal opinion. But he has a whole fraud case that's going on now that feel like it's just swept under the rug. I lived in the same area where Charlemagne was accused by a 15-year-old, and he actually accepted a lesser charge. Her mother didn't want her to pursue it at the time, and by the time the young lady was old enough to do anything about it, the statute of limitations had passed. So these two, in my opinion, are the real culprits. And it was really disheartening and hurtful to see Jess and Lauren going at each other for one job when I feel like that's what they orchestrated. And the other thing is, Jess was actually on maternity leave. She had a baby. And that is something that we haven't lost the right to do yet. Jess can take maternity leave, and her job should still be there and still be safe when she gets back. And I think the treatment of her, the stress put on her, all of that has been despicable, in my opinion, no matter what you think of Jess. And I'm actually not a fan of Jess. I find her funny at times, but I feel like she's doing what they hired her to do. And now to change the standard and hold her up to a different standard just because they saw somebody doing it, I'll say better. I don't know how fair that is. And this whole scenario is something that I'd like to see people look at Charlemagne, look at Envy, and at some point, when are we going to hold these two men accountable for a lot of the things that they do? The whole thing has been kind of hard to watch. So I wish Jess well. I wish Lauren well. And I think that Lauren is kind of being used also. We see Angela Yee and why she left. And Charlemagne and Envy still sitting over there laughing. I did a lot of things watching everything go on. I didn't laugh. Not one time. Because it's not funny to me. And I hope they get everything straightened out the best that they can for the best of the career for Lauren, and the best of the career for Jess. Thank you for stopping by Sandra P's Gen Extra and just listening to my opinion on the Jess hilarious situation on the Breakfast Club. Thank you. Goodbye.